everybody, Chef Meagan again, and we are going to be checking out a few items that are in your Yellowbird box again. So Benji brought to my attention that there's this beautiful lamb. They have a limited quantity, so make sure you get your hands on it. We have garlic scapes, which you're probably like, these weird little green curly things. What is it? What do I do with it? And then we have some beautiful lacinato kale. And lastly, some shiitake mushrooms. So these are here in your box. We're going to utilize them in a delicious lamb burger with some sauteed kale, shiitakes, and garlic scapes. First off, I'm going to start with our burger. So I'm utilizing a little bit of onion, garlic, scapes because I love that flavor profile. I'm just going to peel my onion real quick and give it a quick dice. And then I'm keeping my skins for my compost. And then I'm going to pre-slice. I've pre-sliced a little bit of scapes, bias cut, and I'm going to give them a quick saute before I then add them to the lamb, along with a little bit of seasonings, some salt, and I pre-made a pesto. It's a basil, spinach, toasted pumpkin seeds, lemon juice, salt, pepper, and olive oil. Pretty basic, nut-free, dairy-free. I have my onion and my scapes, and I'm just going to do a quick saute in butter and olive oil. I do this because olive oil has a low smoking point, which means it gets hot and smokes and has a bad bitter flavor if you just do it alone. Just FYI. We have sauteed our scapes and our onions, and I'm just going to put a little seasoning in it because I love the flavor of the nice lamb and these fresh herbs and a little spice. You don't like spice? Don't add spice. So we're going to add a little celery seed. I've added about a tablespoon of my pesto, a tiny pinch of my red pepper flakes, and salt and pepper, just a little bit. I also always taste my stuff before I make the full batch. Everybody's flavor or taste buds are different with salt. So I start out small. I'll mix everything together and do a little tester to make sure that I like it, to make sure that it is up to my standard. So we're just going to mix it together real quick. You can also get some nice grass-fed beef if you don't like lamb. It can be a little gamey. Cut in a little bit of grass-fed beef into it, or ground turkey or ground chicken, just to change the flavor up just a touch. So with the amount that I have, I'm going to make it into 2 nice patties. You know, my husband is always hungry. Somehow he eats and eats and eats, like Benji over here, and never gains a pound. It must be nice. So this is a patty that he would like to eat, and I probably would eat something just a touch smaller. But patty them out, whatever size you want. And then I'm going to throw them in this pan behind me, and then while that's going, I'm going to cut my cheese, cut my tomatoes, and do my vegetable prep, because you kind of want everything to come up at the same time so all your food's hot. Well, unless you have a kid like I do, and then you're just eating cold food all the time. As you can tell, I just have my flame on a medium low. I don't want to cook the outside before the inside is a good medium. So this is going to go, and we're going to go to our vegetables. While my burger is going, I'm going to just core my tomato real quick. And again, compost. And then I like to use my utility knife for tomatoes. So I'm just going to give a couple slices per burger. and then set it aside, okay? Next, we have our grilling cheese. This is something that you can add on. It's gonna go directly in the pan. We're gonna get it a nice brown, and then it's gonna go directly onto our burger. So just a nice slice. I like cheese, so that's gonna be for me. And my husband would probably take half of that. We're gonna do 2 slices. We're gonna sear them off. You're gonna see how beautiful they look. And then we're gonna move on to our veggies. So I have this beautiful lacinato kale. It actually has a more tender flesh to them than some of the other kale. So again, like last week, we're peeling it from the stem. We're just gonna do a little bit in this video, but you have this really nice, beautiful, full bunch in your box. So they saute down really nicely, kind of like spinach, and so you'll probably want to do a little bit more than what I'm going to show you in this video to get a good healthy portion. So we're just going to pull it down, and just like last week, give it a good few rips so you have not a huge bite in your mouth when you're eating. And then I'm going to put them into my prep bowl. I like to keep my my board as clean as possible and things out of the way. Alright, so now we're gonna do our scapes. I am just doing this really nice, they're kind of curly, kind of try to keep the curls together. I'm gonna cut here in the middle and just do a nice, just a quick rough chop to them, okay? When you're chopping, you want to try to keep your hands curled. No need to chop your fingers off. Same with this. So this is just 3. They have a more mild flavor than straight up garlic, but they are still pretty potent. Before I check my lamb burger, I have these beautiful shiitakes. They're wonderful. We're going to do a nice hard sear on them, but they have these little stems, and you want to take the stems off because if you don't, they're really chewy. So we're just popping the stems off of them, and that will go in your compost, and these we're just going to saute whole. So we're flipping them. We have a nice brown color to them, and then we're just going to let them continue while we do our veggies. So I have a nice hot pan. I put a little bit of olive oil in it, and you can tell because the oil moves a lot quicker. It's across the pan. Also, you can always just do a quick, and you can hear it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to put in is my shiitakes. All right, so I like to kind of keep them down so that we get a nice hard sear on the top of the shiitakes. We're going to just let them go for a second. Once I feel that they have a nice sear on them, I'll saute them. I'm going to add my scapes, saute them down till they have a nice tender texture, and then finish with the kale because kale is a lot less tough than the last time. It's only going to take a very little bit of time into the pan. We've done this really nice flip to our shiitakes. You see that they have a nice brown to them. Then I'm going to add my scapes. We're going to get a nice saute with them as well. We're going to get them nice and tender. Then I'm going to add my kale, and then I'm going to season them. Alright, so again, just going to season them, let them get wilted down, and they'll be ready to go. We have a little bit of pepper. We have some salt. This is pink Himalayan salt. And then I like to put a little bit of lemon juice, or you can do like just a little half of a lemon, fresh lemon, and a very small amount of vinegar. And again, you can get this vinegar at Yellowbird. Give it a nice saute. So it's gonna have the freshness, it's gonna have a little bit of the vinegar bite, and it's good to go. It's wilted down, we've seasoned it, it's ready to go next to our burger. Our burgers are ready to go. Then we're going to sear our cheese, butter our buns, and plate up. I am toasting my buns because a little buttered bun is great. It actually, when you toast the bun, it helps to keep the bun from getting soggy. The worst is when you have a burger and you pick it up and like the whole thing falls apart because you didn't toast your bun and all the juices got soaked up into this delicious bun. So using the same pan, because as you heard from last time, I hate dishes. Hate them. Do not like to do multiple dishes. So one pan. Fantastic. I took a little bit of the fat out from the lamb because we know lamb can be a little fatty. And then I have my sliced cheese, so I'm just putting it in. I'm gonna get a nice toast on it, flip it over, and then it's gonna go directly onto my bun. Now we have our beautiful toasted bun, and I always like to put the tomatoes on the bottom before the burger itself because the tomatoes, lettuce, onions all kind of get trapped under this bun. So then when you pick it up, you're not losing everything. So we're gonna wait for the cheese to be melted. The cheese is gonna go on top, and then we're gonna plate with our lacinato kale, our scapes, and our shiitakes. Look at this. Yeah, that's pretty sexy, isn't it? So this is the grilling cheese that you can add on for your next box. It's delicious. The other way you can do it is a little 3-stage breading. So flour, egg wash, and breadcrumbs, and then you could make your own giant mozzarella stick. Yeah, who doesn't like cheese sticks? We have this delicious burger with a beautiful piece of grilled cheese on top, and our lacinato kale, our scapes, and our shiitake mushrooms. Perfect portion. Look how beautiful that is. All right, come check us out next week when I get I don't know what, and I'm just gonna make it work.
I've taken this burger and actually added a little bit of the kale and the shiitake right to the burger. I'm the guy that always put the fries on his burger. So the question was, can I get my mouth around this? So let's take a look at this right here, the anatomy of the burger. We've got the tomato, we've got the giant patty, gorgeous, the grilling cheese, and then I squeezed some of that kale, scape, and shiitake on there. So let's see if I can get that or not.
I was gonna say, and look how juicy it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that'll play.